Google has decided that moving to another cloud should be free, relatively speaking. They've announced this week that the network egress to another cloud platform will not cost customers any additional fee. Google is reporting the reasoning for this is that they want to make it easier for customers to move from one provider to another and allow businesses and governments to scale their technology use. Maybe they're also trying to prod other cloud providers into addressing the egress fees that have been pretty egregious. Tom, why would Google make it free to leave?
Well, you have to ask yourself, first of all, let's address the elephant in the room. Everybody's like, oh yeah, the cloud with nobody on it is letting people leave for free. That's not the argument that I would make. Think about this. I'm going to develop an application and it's going to use Kubernetes. Which Kubernetes distribution should I pick? All other things being equal. Wouldn't you develop it on the company that created Kubernetes in the first place? Oh wait, that's Google. But the problem is that Google Cloud's tooling eventually hits a limit, whether it's a scaling limitation or there's some feature in AWS or Azure that you really want to use. Well, now I'm stuck. So I've got this thing running in Google Cloud, but it's going to cost me a small fortune to move it to one of the other clouds. Forget it. I'll just shut it off and we'll figure out something later. Rewind the tape. Now I can develop that application and move it anywhere I want, at least for free to move it. Now you're still going to have to pay storage costs and all that other stuff. But now the tooling that I use to start the project is tied to Google somehow. So Google may lose a cloud tenant, but they've gained a customer that is relying on Google's services. I think it's a smart play, and here's why. If you know that at least at the beginning, the tooling you want to use is on Google Cloud, if it isn't going to cost you anything to move it to AWS or Azure once it's up and running, I'm more likely to start it over there, which means Google gets to say that they're an innovator, but they also get to see the genesis of these projects. So they get to understand what they can do to make their software and their platforms more appealing to that smaller market. And as I said, it gets to tie those applications and those platforms to Google services, which means Google gets to mine more data for whatever it is they do with it. Reportedly selling ads, but who knows? I think it's a smart move. And like you said, egress costs have become, well, egregious because we want lock-in. Yeah, I said it, the L word. We want to keep people here. There's two ways you can do it. You can make them so dependent on your environment that they can't afford to leave, or you can make the exit costs so expensive that they can't afford to leave. That's kind of what we're seeing with Amazon and Azure. Is, Microsoft's always taken that model of, oh yeah, use all of our tools, and oh yeah, you built this all on our platform? Haha, good luck finding this stuff over in the other guy's cloud. Amazon's just like, oh yeah, we'll let you put stuff in here for free. You want it to leave? Not a good idea. Like it's actually cheaper to go deploy an outpost at your environment than it is to try to get all your data out of it. I think Google is playing a longer game here. They know, let's be fair, they know they're never going to be number one. And they know number two is going to be a hard stretch. But if they can be a comfortable number three that everybody starts with, that gives them relevance in the industry that can't be matched by anybody else. So I'm going to pay attention to this. Besides, if you look at the total revenue of what they were making off of the egress cost to get out of Google Cloud versus what they make on your average monthly ad revenue for Google search box, it's a rounding error. I think this is a smart move by Google.